Hi, and welcome to the Church of St Mary in Freeby, Leicestershire. In fact, it should be the Church of Chiroptophobia, because for those of you who don't know, the word chiroptophobia means a fear of bats. And if my heart were to truly bleed for any church I have been to, then St Mary's in Freeby has to be the one, because in 2016 it was reopened after being closed for 13 years due to risk of demolition because of its poor state of repair, and it was going to be demolished because the parishioners couldn't raise enough cash to restore it. And then the church's conservation trust stepped in and restored the 14th century building. In fact, English Heritage offered £132,000, but with the bill potentially running to several hundreds of thousands more, the parishioners from the village, and there were only 40 of them, doubted they could save their church. The roof was in danger of falling in, the walls were in danger of falling out, and the floor was covered in bat droppings. If anything looked like an Addams family home, then this was it. Then in stepped English Heritage and the Church of England, and the repairs, which cost nearly £500,000, were raised. And then in 2016, so only 8 years ago, the church would hold 6 services a year, plus any weddings and funerals that needed to take place. In any sense of clerical history, this is an important, very important church. A chaplain of the church was Isaac Watts, and he wrote, "O God, our help in ages past." And Isaac Watts wrote, "When I survey the wondrous cross." This was the chaplain of this church. But now the colony of Natterer's bats, along with the more common pipistrelle bats, they roost in the church, and you wouldn't believe the mess they have caused inside, especially over the summer and during the bat breeding season. It sincerely was so pitiful to walk inside, and every single surface that you looked at was covered in droppings. They have tried to cover as much as they possibly can, but to little avail. According to the website Bats in Churches, they say that the church's conservation trust had been working with them to find ways of engaging people and volunteers to help make the church more presentable to visitors, and to run bat-related training and other events in conjunction with the Leicestershire and Rutland Bat Group. In July 2022, a couple of years ago, the church hosted a training event for Natural England volunteer bat roost visitors. And this was in conjunction with another church which I went to on the same day, St Mary's at Garthorpe. But as you can see from these pictures, the bats make such a lot of mess, and the pews and other items all need to be covered in unsightly polythene. And it's disappointing and distressing to see a church which was saved with £500,000 left in this condition. There's obviously a conflict of interest going on here, and this is a tweet put out by a chap called Steve Rowe of the Bats in Churches Society, and it's what he said about the church at Freeby.
Well, this is now a disused church, and it was an active church for many years. I think it finished about 10 years ago. It closed because it was so unsafe. And if you look at the far pillar over there on the north aisle, it's at a weird angle. It's amazing it's standing up, and the church subsided to such an extent that windows started falling out, bits of stonework started falling out, and it became unsafe. In fact, if you stand here and look at the chancel arch, it's just not right. You can see either you've been drinking or the building's not right, and it's not good form.
I think the final word has to be that the church was built on sinking soil, which has resulted in structural issues, making the church unsafe for services inside the building.
The Church of St Mary in Freeby, Leicestershire.